feathers, as you'd probably know, it's the Tuesday right before Thanksgiving, so we're going to keep this week's video nice and short and sweet to help you get ready for your Thanksgiving celebration. So today we're going to be using some very simple crafting materials like foam sheets and bamboo skewers, and we're going to be turning it into this. This is great to put on your porch or in the centerpiece of your table, but really there's not much to this other than some tracing and cutting out and a little bit of gluing together, so let's look at what we need to do. So first of all, we need to make the body and a bunch of feathers. So if you go to my website, I'll put the link in the description below, but if you go there, you'll find some templates that we're going to use to help make tracing these pieces out of the foam a little bit easier. So I've already cut out some of my pieces and I've put one together, but the basic idea is you're going to cut out 2 pieces of the foam, and then you're going to put glue just around the edge and glue it together, and then you'll be able to slide the bamboo skewer up like that and then be able to stick it into your flower pot. So that means we're going to have one body, obviously, but we need to use the template twice to cut out the back and the front of the body. Now you might notice I've got some white foam here. You can go ahead and buy their foam in whatever colors you want. I just went with white so that way I could color in the body and the wings however I wanted them to. And then of course I got a sheet of black for the hat. But since mine is white, I will need to use some Sharpies and just color them in. So the first thing you want to do is cut out all your pieces. You can make as many tail feathers as you want. I'm going to be doing about 6. And I'll give you some tips for cutting your pieces out. So first off, cut out your template so you can have it as a guide. But then before you cut, instead of trying to hold your template on the foam paper or drawing in there, if you lay your template on the sheet and then take a bamboo skewer and just trace around and press into the foam board, it will leave these grooves and that will give you guides to cut it out. Now I can't really get the camera to pick it up, but it's really easy to see. You just press in a little bit, and that also makes it nicer so that way if your mark isn't quite the way you want it to be at first, if your shape's a little off, you don't have a big, pencil or pen mark on the foam board, and it's barely noticeable if you make a mistake. I traced in a bunch of feathers on this sheet and I'll need to cut them out. So I'm going to just start with some feathers here. So I'm going to start by coloring these in. Alright, so I used my Sharpie to go ahead and color this in. A couple quick things: when you first color it, if you run your fingers on here, your fingers will pick up the Sharpie. So just make sure you give it time to dry if you don't want to get Sharpie on you. I didn't really care, so I'm just going to have some interesting colored fingers. Another thing is I'm only coloring the front side because you won't really see the back side, but if you want to also color the back side of the feathers in too, you can do that. And of course, again, this only applies if your foam isn't already colored. So to glue the feathers together, I'm going to take my glue gun and run hot glue along this side, just really thin, and kind of keep it in from the edge so that it doesn't ooze out the side a bunch. And I'm also going to come along this other side. Remember, I want to see where I'm holding it with my finger. I want to leave that open and without glue so that way the skewer can slide inside there. And then before my glue cools off, I'm just going to line these two up and press them together. Also at this point, if you don't color in your back one and your back one's peeking out through the front a little bit, you can always take your scissors and trim that up a little bit more. And as long as you left a gap down here at the bottom, you should be able to slide your skewer right up into that. So now I've got another turkey feather ready. So I'm just going to do that to finish making the rest of my turkey feathers, and then it's time to work on the body. I'm going to be using these big googly eyes because I think they look really cute. So I'll need to glue these on, but of course I still need to color mine in. So I'm going to start by drawing the beak and the snood on the turkey. The snood is the little red thing that comes over the nose. So to do that, I'm going to start by taking an orange Sharpie, and I want to leave these sitting on there while I draw, so that way I make sure I leave enough room for the eyes. So I'm just going to draw a little triangle like that, and then I'll take my red Sharpie and draw the snood. So just like that, quickly freehanded it, and then I'll go back and I'll color in the body of my turkey. So now that he's all colored in, I'm going to glue the eyes on. And the last thing I need to do with the turkey body is glue the front to the back. So same as I did before with the feathers. I'm just going to go around the edge. And then same as before, put him on a skewer, and now all that's left to do is cut out the hat. For the hat, we're going to need to cut out 2 circles and a band. So for my first circle, I just took a canning jar lid and I pressed it down onto my foam board and kind of twisted it back and forth to leave a nice round mark. And then for the thinner circle that's going to go at the top of the hat, I just took a little Dixie cup from in the bathroom and again pushed the base onto here and twisted around just to create a nice mark in there. So I'm going to cut those out, and then I'll also need to cut out a long strip that will fold around. Before we glue our pieces together, I do want to cut a slit in here so that way the hat can slide onto the turkey head, and it's a lot easier if you do this in the big one before you assemble the hat. So I'm just going to fold the hat in half and cut a slit in the middle, make it a little bit wide so it has room, and just cut that inside out. And if it's too small, I can come back later and make it bigger. You can test it on your turkey head. This is going to fit really well, so just get it so that way it can kind of sit on your turkey head like that. And then from here, it's just a matter of gluing it together. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on here and start lining up the hat. This part you'll need to go a little bit at a time. Now once you get closer to the end, just figure out where you can cut your piece off and finish gluing it together. And then just to neaten it up, I'm going to trim off any little spots that are sticking out. Last of all, I'm going to glue this part of the hat onto here. And now that my hat's done, I can pop it onto my turkey. And now all I've got to do is assemble it in the flower pot. So here we go, this Tom turkey is safe from being eaten on Thursday. So if you're looking for one last way to spruce up your Thanksgiving decor, here's an easy, cheap way to do that. For me, this project only cost $1 because I just had to buy the foam and I had pretty much everything else. So a lot of these things are things you might already have on hand. So that really makes this a nice project. Also, instead of going through my big spiel about you should like and subscribe and blah blah, I just want to take the time here at the end to say I am very thankful this year for all of my amazing subscribers. You guys watching my video means a lot to me to know that people are interested in what I'm putting together. So if you enjoy watching my videos, please leave a comment below letting me know, and I'd be very grateful for that. But seriously, I'm thankful for all of you who subscribe and everyone who likes my videos and watches them. It means a lot to me. So this Thanksgiving, I am thankful for you. But anyways, I hope that you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving and happy crafting. The inspiration for this craft comes from one of my family's Thanksgiving traditions. Every year I go over to my grandpa's place and he has this kit that's got kind of similar pieces, but you poke them into a pumpkin. So every year all us grandkids gather around and we assemble our pumpkin turkey. So I thought it'd be fun to have a DIY version of the tradition that my family does.